Ever get the feeling we're only scratching the surface with these creatures from myth? I mean, everyone knows about Cyclopses, but
Sure,
anyone remember
cycle.
where they're from?
Exactly. Greek mythology.
Right.
Right. Well, get this. Today, we're diving deep into a completely different tradition to meet a Cyclops who gives even Polyphemus a run for his money. We're talking about the Ojáncanu from Cantabrian mythology. That's northern Spain, folks, way up in the mountains. And trust me, you'll want to pack your hiking boots and your courage for this one.
Absolutely. It's amazing how these mythical figures capture the spirit of their homeland.
Right, and Ojáncanu is like the walking embodiment of those rugged Cantabrian mountains. Imagine a being so huge, somewhere between 3 to 6 meters tall, with a single eye blazing like fire. Oh, and did I mention the 10 fingers and toes on each hand and foot?
Ah, yes, the classic markers of a truly formidable mythological figure. Like, seriously, 10? What's up with that?
Well, think about it. You know how exaggeration works in myths, right? It's not just about being bigger or scarier. It's about amplifying the core traits. 10 times the digits. That's 10 times the strength, 10 times the terror. It's a visual shorthand for just how powerful Ogodonkanu is compared to, your average everyday giant.
I mean, when a creature's that massive, you know it's got to have some serious strength behind it. And it's not just brute force we're talking about here. Local legends say the Ojankanu can trigger landslides with a stomp of his foot, earthquakes with a roar. Talk about a force of nature.
And that connection to the natural world is essential to understanding the Ojankanu. Remember those Cantabrian mountains we talked about? Beautiful, rugged, and prone to some pretty intense natural disasters. Landslides, earthquakes, you name it. So it makes sense that the people living in the shadow of these mountains would imagine a creature like Urjankanu as the embodiment of that unpredictable, often dangerous natural power.
It's like he's more than just a monster. He's this walking, talking, earth-shaking symbol of the power of nature itself. But there's a twist, right? Even a being as mighty as Ojankano has a weakness, the Anjanas.
Ah, yes, the Anjanas. Now, these aren't your average fairies flitting about in the garden.
Now, these are some seriously powerful beings in their own right. They're considered protectors of Cantabria and sworn enemies of the Ojankano.
And their secret weapon against this giant terror, it's almost poetic, really. A single white hair from the Ojankanu's beard.
I mean, talk about specific. Of all the things, a single white hair. You've got to wonder how they figured that one out.
Well, that's the beauty of mythology, isn't it? It often reveals these little details that make you think, huh, there's more to this than meets the eye.
For sure. And this idea of even the strongest having a weakness, it's like a universal truth. We see it everywhere, not just in mythology.
Exactly. Think about it. Achilles and his heels, Samson and Delilah, even Kryptonite and Superman.
It's a reminder that there's always a way to overcome challenges, even when they seem insurmountable. And in the Ojankanu's case, it's the Anjanas, these guardians of nature, who hold the key to defeating the very force of chaos that he represents. So we've got this epic clash of titans, deeply rooted in the landscape and lore of Cantabria. But it begs the question, what other creatures are out there, hidden within the world's mythologies, just waiting to be discovered?
Oh, I can guarantee you there are countless more stories like this one, each reflecting the unique cultural tapestry of the people who created them. Because that's the thing about mythology, isn't it? It's a mirror to humanity's collective imagination. Whether it's a cyclops in the mountains of Spain or a dragon in the Far East, these creatures teach us about ourselves, our fears, our aspirations, and our relationship with the world around us.
So true. And on that note, we want to hear from you. Imagine for a moment, you're facing the mighty Ojankanu. How would you, brave listener, go about getting that one single solitary white hair? Let us know your strategy.